GM. Good, everybody. Welcome. It is Tuesday, the last day of January 2023. Holy smokes. How the heck did this month go by already? Is that like a thing? Did this month like literally just go by that fast? I mean, I feel like time has a way of getting away from us, right? And the older we get, I feel like it moves faster and faster. But I'll tell you what, this was a fast-ass month. I cannot believe that we are 1 month in. We got 11 months to go of 2023, and then guess what? Bitcoin halving 2024. Are we still in that cycle? Are things still gonna line up with about May? And we'll take a look at that shortly here. But GM, everybody, Turbo, Jeb, Colt, what is happening? Hope you guys are doing all right this morning. Let's see. Let's put on a little bit of this song. That's just a little royalty-free beats, but this one that we play for the opener is cool. But this one is called Bitcoin. So we'll give everybody a few minutes to come on up in here. It is 10:02. Markets are looking all right today. We'll take a look at that. We've got a little bit of red, but very small amounts, less than 1%, at least in the top several. Cardano, the only one that's down a full percent, down to 38 cents. Definitely want to talk about Cardano today. Maybe before we get into a lot more of the discussion that we're going to have. What released today? It was Djed. Is that how you say it? Djed. DJED, their stable coin, live today. So that will be exciting to see what the Cardano community responds to that. You know what I'm saying? Turbo, GM, sir, how are you? See, fucking did that to me again. All right, so if you were watching on YouTube, you heard the whole thing. But if you were here on Twitter Space, dude, I don't fucking get what Twitter does this for. It's like it launches you, you're unmuted, and then you mute because it wants to play music for you, whatever. And then so I unmuted it, and then it remuted it, and I wasn't paying attention because I just started talking. That's the way the cookie crumbles, right, Turbo? What's up, GM, everybody? How we doing? Turbo, if you're talking, I can't hear you. That's no good. We're doing this today again. All right, Turbo, if you can hear me, just go off on a thing for a second. I gotta reconnect this damn road. I don't know how. All right, says I'm connected. Can you hear me, man? All right. We're trying this fucking again. Jesus. All right. Turbo got booted. He's now back up as a speaker. Can you hear me, Turbo? I can't hear a word Turbo's saying. If you guys can hear me, just bear with me just a second. We're going to get this. We'll let Turbo talk for some reason. What the fuck is wrong with Twitter? Come on, Elon. You got to fucking do better, man. Like, some people rely on this shit to communicate with their communities. And if this stuff doesn't work, then we're going to need to find a different solution. Because I can hear everything. Crypto K, Cole, Corey, GM, B-Strat, 515 loopring.eth, GM. If you guys can hear me, just throw a thumbs up while we and if anybody wants to come up and chat, please do. Turbo, I think, is having trouble speaking, unless he's good now. He texted me saying that so Jeb, you can hear me with the thumb up. That's good. Well, great. I guess while we wait for Turbo, you want to pop out and then pop back in. We'll try to bring you back up and see if it'll work. We'll get this thing rolling, and then hopefully we'll get to bring you back up and in a little bit here and see what's happening. So, all right, guys, this is Web3 Breakfast. Sorry for the technical difficulties there. Here we go. We are in Web3 Breakfast. Guys, if you've not done so already, please Turbo, we're bringing you back up. Please check out my new YouTube channel. You can get there by going to jchains.live. I started we have been talking about this for a while, and I definitely owe it to Zach. The name of this morning show, Web3 Breakfast. It was supposed to. The whole idea was to make it Web3 Breakfast Bites and have a lot of small, digestible content that is kind of the your bite-sized nuggets to get you ready to go in the morning, and then we go into the morning show. Well, that is finally coming to fruition. And so today was the first one. Drop the Web3 Breakfast Bites video. And what it does is going to take you through a headline, kind of what's going on in the world of Bitcoin, and then Ethereum, and then we're going to do NFTs, Metaverse, and Web3. So there's really 5 segments, and the whole goal is to boil that thing down to about 3-ish minutes, something like that for the full video, but then really make those 5 segments their own little like short clips. And so that's going live today. The 3-minute video went live this morning. And then the short clips, I think I may put those up on the When Media channel, start getting some stuff going over there. So be on the lookout for that today, guys. And I appreciate the follow and support, not only on my YouTube channel, but what we're doing with When Media. Let's take a look at the NFT markets really quick. As you guys know, I like heading on over to nftgo.io for a quick glimpse into what's happening in the NFT markets. It was 31, it's down to 30 right now. But last week we were the week before we were in the 20s, and we were up to 32. So much like the crypto world is volatile, the NFT and Web3 space does see some fluctuation as well. So don't be scared. Don't be scared. Ethereum coming in about 1585 right now. Let's see, that is what they're showing me on FTGo, but if I go to trading view, a little bit higher than that. But man, I tell you what, this is the daily chart we're looking at. I'm fully expecting this thing to take another leg down pretty soon here. I expect it will be in the 1400s probably by the end of the week. That's just my guess. I think we've got some numbers coming out today or tomorrow. We'll see where that lands us. If they've not come out already, I haven't actually looked to see if that stuff's come out this morning. Turbo, can we hear you quite yet?
Yo, am I there, family?
Oh, my dude, welcome back.
Bro, this is ridiculous, man. They got me like on some list or something, man. They don't let me talk. They trying to silence me.
Not that I think that they are trying to silence us, but I think that they're trying to silence us. I mean, for what we do, for using this technology and these robust platforms like YouTube and all this stuff, man, for as much as we get booted off and have audio problems now, maybe it's because we connect more than most, and so we experience a lot more of the hassle of growing tech and all that kind of stuff. But I would say, I would think that as big of a platform and as much revenue as they generate and all that kind of stuff, it'd be buttoned up a little bit better, and you wouldn't have as many bugs with this audio platform. But that's just me. That's my complaining. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. GM74, how are you?
Good morning, Web3 Breakfast. How are you, Jay Chains? How are you, Turbo? Hey, Beef Pratt. How are you? I'm waking up to getting up to go paint a house, I guess. I think that's what we're doing today.
Nice, man. It was nice to get outside. You're cleaning gutters the other day and painting a house today.
Absolutely.
This guy's crushing it, man. Keep crushing it.
Getting ready for springtime, just in case I want to sell my house and get out of here too.
There you go. It sounds like
seriously, I'm dead serious.
Maybe the troops will all converge down in Central Texas.
That's fine with me.
Hey, we could do some things. I love it.
I'm a pirate. I'm a pirate, dude. I don't care.
Oh, that's fantastic. Let's
hilarious.
go. Well, cool. Let's look at some other crypto prices really quick before we get into like this story with Cardano, and then kind of get into a conversation for the day. But again, looking at some of these crypto prices on the 24-hour, again, not a whole lot of a change. Pretty much everything is stable. If it is red, again, it's less than 1%. With the exception of a couple. I think Cardano's now changed, so that is less than 1%, but Polygon Matic down 2%. You got Solana down almost 2.5%. So you got a couple things that are down a little bit, but for the most part, you got Dogecoin up 6.5%, so that's good. So things have kind of leveled off a little bit for the day. We'll see. Where we get to by the end of the week. I'm hoping for a little bit cheaper price action on some of our favorite coins, so that we can start our bargain shopping and get ready. But let's see, anything else going on in the world of crypto? So there's the new show that I launched today. Expect that, and again, make sure you guys follow and subscribe to my channel. But not only that, the When Media channel, because I'll start putting all those shorts out there, and that hopefully will get some attention to what we got going on here. What do you guys think? Does that sound fun?
Yo, I love that. I love that. I think, man, I'm telling you, this is, I think one thing that we should talk about, Jay, is, the power of our network. You know what I'm saying? And just that understanding, and, I think the mind map we did last night with you was great. Was crucial. I think there's a lot of people that need to take that time. Maybe we kind of talk a little bit around what we talked about.
I love that. I love that. Let me, you will go for a second. I'm going to change the name of the space to, let's see, let's make it the strength. What should we title it? The strength of our network?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's dope. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yo, so one of the services that we started doing over Win Media is really sitting down and mind mapping out the marketing side of of what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like what your objectives are. How you can leverage your Twitter and your social media to be able to to obtain these things that you want. And so, I think that I think a lot of times, we don't really put a lot of thought into the people that we interact with on our Twitter. Sometimes, we get caught up in spending too much time looking at some of the, looking at profiles or projects or people that, that we aren't necessarily aligned with, but, we kind of get caught up and just wanting to see what they're doing. And, and I think that when you take the time and you pull up your Twitter circle and you look and take, see who you got in there, I think that there's a lot of opportunity, to identify your goals, and then to be able to, use the people around you to achieve them.
I love that, man. And you know what? It was really interesting when you started to really like put that information together last night when I was looking at it. It's the tools that we're using to put this stuff together. Let me tell you what, man, it's super robust because it lays things out in a way that typically you don't see. And it's not like it's not a heat map, it's not like a org chart, it's not laid out how you would normally see it. And I think it paints like a really good picture of, not only, like you said, the network, but the community, and how we can utilize what we've got. This, like, all right, let's go with the title, the strength of our network, to accomplish our goals, right? So if my goal, let's talk about my goal, let's make it about that. My goal is to really increase the awareness and engagement for the content that I have and that I put out on social media, and with the new YouTube channel that I'm building, but really create that content, but I think maintain and strengthen, the integrity and the name that I've made for myself in this industry, so that I can become a credible source for people, especially as, more interest comes into this industry, and we get a lot more people, a large influx, I think, as the, when the mass adoption phase happens, when we get into the next run, I have very specific goals that I want from me individually, as well as for the company. And, being able to lay these things out, Turbo, like we did, and start to define the process to get there, right? Because, like, we always say, like, you got to set goals. You have to set your goals. But really the most important thing, probably more important than setting that goal, is setting a system in place to meet that goal. Because you could have goals all fucking day, but if you don't have any plan of action, like, it's never gonna happen.
And that was one thing that me and Seven, we had a conversation last night before to bed. It's like I always before I even give him my good night wishes.
I think you're rugging pretty
We
good right
kind
now.
of wrap up our day.
Turbo the rug. But I did hear one thing I did make out 7-4K is that he does enjoy kind of speaking to you before you guys go to bed. It was like a nice little way, a little send off, right? Is that what you caught from that too?
Am I back in the game?
You're back in the game.
Okay.
What are we talking about?
Turbo was
Yeah,
saying
we were
basically,
talking about it.
Turbo was basically saying he likes to whisper sweet nothings into your ear at the end of the workday.
Absolutely. We have our little like power down kind of conversation, and then we have a power up conversation. That's usually one way because I'm the one awake first, and I'm like, "Good morning," and I say all this crap, and then he's like, "Good morning," like 2 hours later. Like, what are you even? How are you even awake? Like, how are you even alive right now? But it is what it is. His sweet nothings usually consist of him telling me something that we're doing today.
But I'm
What
not.
do you mean? This guy woke the three of us up last night for utter nonsense, you know. So yeah, you know, we talk to each other before we go to bed. It's a thing.
It wasn't utter nonsense. What I was getting.
I'm kidding.
That,
Come on.
Yeah, what I was saying was that you know, Jay, when we went before we closed out last night, we were talking about you know, our meeting with you, and one of the things that we realized was like, man, you know, like you know, with your like ADD, right? You have all of these things that you want to do. You know what I'm saying? And so we just got to get them all visually represented, and then you know, and then get them into a system so that you're like, okay, right now I'm going to focus just on this, and you can look at that board and have a quick snapshot and say, oh, okay, you know what, I do need to focus on this. And there were some little choke points that we talked about. And I definitely think using your network, you know, the people, the strengths in your, you know what I mean, like a unit, you know what I mean? I look at this whole thing like, you know, we're just building an army, you know what I'm saying? You know, you have your strengths, you know what I'm saying? We have our strengths. And so together, you know, we come together and be able to identify those. But I think in the long run, it's going to get you like really focused. You'll have very focused times, like those bite-sized breakfasts that you're putting together.
Yeah, I think it's good. You know, like, you know, we can, you know, there's so many cliche sayings with all of that, right? You're strong as your weakest link or whatever. But I think like most importantly, you know, it's not about, you know, where are limitations or, you know, where are the failure or the I think the choke points. It's more about, you know, as a team, you know, where can we complement each other, and if there's any overlap, you know, how do we complement versus duplicate those kind of efforts, but really you know, how can we work together? So it's not, you know, we're not talking about, hey, these are things that I can't do. Those are things that are maybe someone else's strength. That you know, we all have our I guess our strengths and our weaknesses, but you know, finding ways to just highlight all of our strengths and push things forward, I think is definitely a great approach.
No, for sure. You know, and I had a really special opportunity to get involved. Are you familiar with Clifton Strengths, Jay?
I am not.
So the Clifton Strengths, what they do is they essentially they create your talent DNA. They look at 34. There's 34 results that you, and they kind of pair them out. And so for me, my top five is input, strategic, command, ideation, and activation, and activator. So those are the five traits that make up my personality of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so like input, you know, is like always having lots of ideas and things like that. And I had a really special opportunity to go to Zach Brown. He has a camp just outside of Atlanta there, right where you're at almost. And so he invites you know, veterans, and he does two camps for veterans. One is called Path, which is how we go through like our like traumatic events and stuff, and it's mainly for combat veterans. And then the other one is Warrior Week. And so the whole idea of it is that, you know, not to spend time trying to get better at the things that you're bad at, but to really spend all of your time getting really, really good and perfecting the things that you're great at and leveraging those. Because kind of the idea is that you're just spending a lot of time to try to become okay at something. And it's just kind of a waste of time.
I like that.
Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find that I'm gonna find the link to that
The
and see if
Clifton.
we can't get that up. Yeah, for the Clifton strings. It does cost a little bit of money to take the test, but like I can definitely say that what you get out of the packet, because it goes through each one of your individual strings,
Mm-hmm.
and it talks about it talks about like where like why it's unique and how you can use it, but then it also talks about like why you're going to have a hard time. So for me, right, like input is my big thing, right? So like I sometimes shotgun blast people with information, you know what I'm saying, so much that they can't take it all in, and it actually works against me. So like in this Clifton Strengths, it gives you it goes through and it talks about like, so for one, right, it says you're decisive and persistence can be intimidating, whether you intend to be or not. Keep that in mind, especially when you have to coach others, deliver feedback, and set expectations. And so like it goes through and tells you like all of these things, and it just makes us better, better leaders and communicators of the things that we want to accomplish.
Oh, that's awesome. I like that. And it's like one of those things, like sometimes, you said it costs a little bit of money. It's like $50, right? And $50 is, I think it's a pretty solid investment to get some insight into who you are, right? And maybe, when you find some of these strengths, and you can utilize them to put yourself in a better position, probably. So at $50, I think that's a great thing. I've always thought that those kind of online assessments were fun, but sometimes a little wonky. Like take for example, like the ones that tell you where you want to live. It took that 15 years ago, my wife and I, while we were living in New York City, and every single test that we took said you need to you should live in Austin, Texas. You should live in Austin, Texas. And so we ended up moving down there, spent 10 years there, and it was that's why we're going back, because it is such an amazing place and it fits our personalities. We developed a community there, and so I do love when you get to take these kind of opportunities to find things that work for you, and how they can improve whether it's your quality of life, your work performance, whatever it is. There's definitely some value add on there.
No, most definitely. And I think that for 2023, I think when I really think about what Win Media is, and when I think about everything that you're creating, Jay, it's super exciting. It's exactly what Web3 needs. We need to be here getting better with each other, not trying to compete against each other. Like there's times for like buy, and go buy this and the hype, and we're all winning. We're in the build right now. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna say the bear, but Jay done got shaved up, so he's no longer the bear. You know what I'm saying? And so this is such a time, and just taking the time to talk about these things. Really taking that time and going through your mind map, working with these other projects and creating this has shown just the power of planning and conversating and us getting together and saying, well, hey, did you think about this? Oh, no, I didn't. Or, hey, I know about this. And so if you guys are down there and you're listening in, I see we got Ricky in the building. That's a new homie that we just met. He's new, just getting back to Twitter. He was shadow banned for some time, and so he's back in here thanks to Elon. Dope community member. I see Carmen down there, who's just like a knockout. If you guys are not following what Carmen is doing, make sure you definitely do that. We got our guy Jebby up here. Definitely want to hear from him. 7-4. And and what? How do we say this? Bastrat. We see you down there hanging out with us all the time. Feel free to jump into this conversation for sure. But Jay, my question for you is, where do you think your power is in your network?
Oh man, that's a really good question. Do I have to answer that right now? Like, just give me so
you can think about it. You can think about it. I'll tell you what mine is. I'll tell you mine, and then and then as you kind of think about what yours is, I think the power of my network, where my network has become powerful, is the fact that that I've spent time across all blockchains. That I've spent a lot of time in small rooms and big rooms. You know what I mean? And that the one thing that in my network that I always do is two things. One, I always try to set the bell for as many people as I can, and at a minimum, like everything that they post, and if I can, retweet and comment. If it makes sense. And then being in those small rooms allows the opportunity to get to have more of an intimate conversation, you know, with different community members and being involved in their conversations. Because the one thing that we teach in our house with my boys, I have 3 sons for those you don't know, 3 young great leaders that we're developing into young men. But the one thing that is big in our house is that when you go to someone else's castle, that they're the king, and that you can go there and love and enjoy whatever it is that they have going on in their castle, as long as it's not like, you know, we talk about, don't be a douchebag, right? As long as there's not hate speech, as long as they're not, you know, degrading women, you know, things like that, as long as they're not like in harm. You know, when you go to someone's house, if it's dirty and you see it and you can help them clean it up, and you only do it as an appreciation to them allowing you into their kingdom. You know, but when you leave, you know what I'm saying, you respect them for, you know, for just being a king of whatever they have, and you have that same expectation when they come to your kingdom. And I think by you know, being in these spaces and really, you know, using that as a value identifier for myself, I think that it's developed a lot of trust. And so I think the power of my network is that you know, hopefully I think that I've developed trust with the different community members that I've been involved with, and that I've been authentic, and that I'm someone that they can trust.
Man, I love that. I mean, absolutely. I think that is like a spot on way to go. Ricky, I see you're back up here. What's up? Welcome back to the world of social media.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. I guess I was catching the butt in what I was talking about. Turbo. I had I was asking the community, bro. Like, I do what they call active cash rain. I don't know if y'all familiar with Kim.com.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure. But I do active cash rains for my community, and if y'all want, you know, more info on it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can like DM y'all or whatever. And I mean, y'all can go to my page and see where I do like daily active cash rains, you know what I'm saying, from my community. It's called The Struggle. And I don't gain any money from it, nothing like that. All I'm doing is just giving away free money, pretty much. And I can gain attraction, you know what I'm saying, to y'all calls, you know what I'm saying, just by one tweet within a few minutes, you know what I'm saying? Like, there'll be like hundreds of retweets, you know what I'm saying, hundreds of likes, you know, and they go on up. So if anyone's interested, just, you know, let me know.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely, Ricky. We'll definitely get in. We'll get into some DMs on that as well. You know, to talk about, you know, kind of learn more about that. And man, we appreciate you swinging through. You know, being a part of the conversation. You know, we're talking about networks and stuff like that. And you were kicked out of social media, right? And so now that you're coming back, man, what's that been like? What was it like, you know, being banned from social media?
Well, now what? See, I'm a gamer, you know, so I put out, you know, not just gaming content, but also put out like home improvement content. So, get my message, you know what I'm saying, through was like real difficult, man. Like, so I had to keep my grind on. So I had to, you know, get out there, you know, and keep doing what, you know, needed to be done, you know what I'm saying, to get food on the table, you know. So, being censored and shadow banned, you know, over, you know, free speech, you know, in my opinion. I mean, I didn't never say nothing hateful. And to be honest with you, I would like to know why, you know what I'm saying, they censored, you know what I'm saying, certain people. You know, I guess for me at the time I was supporting Trump, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people hate Trump, you know, but just because somebody supports, you know, don't like Trump, you know, I'm not going to ban you from a platform. I'm not going to hate you, you know, or if you support Joe Biden, you know what I'm saying, I'm not going to, you know, downgrade anyone, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you know, crazy, you know, on how one tweet that they would suspect to be Russian information, you know what I'm saying, or whatever the cause may be, you know, because I love everyone, man. I want to see everyone be successful, you know, see everyone, you know, be prosper, and but it was this difficult, man. And if I didn't have the friends, that I had on Twitter, and coming back and, Elon buying the company and me being able to get verified on Twitter Blue, I mean, shit, I wouldn't have no voice.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I think that's, once we get to a point where we maybe have some better decentralized options, as far as, and I, hopefully, and we've had this conversation before, but I hope that it's not a social media platform. We want it to be more of a community engagement hub. I think that would probably work better more for, if you look at the way that communities are going in this Web3, and yes, you're going to want room for collaboration and you're going to want cross-pollination between communities and all that kind of stuff. But I think finding ways to really make it more of a community hub where people can get together. Maybe it's more token gated access style stuff, whatever it ends up being. I think that we definitely need an overhaul to the current social media climate. And but it'll get there, man. And I'm glad that you're back. It always sucks when your voice gets taken from you. But at the end of the day, you're back, and and this is the time. So your timing is good. Start rebuilding the community that you got, and hopefully when the attention comes back, you'll have your community back.
That's just it, man. Getting your community back, networking, the strength of your network. So Jay, did you figure out? Did you come up with your answer yet? You're still thinking over there.
I mean, like, I not to take the easy way out, but I definitely want to piggyback off of you. I mean, I feel like, as far as like the trust factor goes, and being able for people to resonate. I feel like the strength of the network that I've got. The same thing, man. It's trust, it's integrity, it's people that I have incubated these relationships. And yeah, there's a lot of new growth that I've experienced, and there's a lot of new friends that I've made. But if you look at some of the people in this particular room, they have been kind of engaging, and I've been engaging with their stuff now for quite some time. And I think the reciprocal respect and man, wow, I'm struggling to find the word that I really want to use here, but I really think that it's again, much like you, man. It's just based off of trust and respect, and knowing that over the last couple of years, we've all kept our noses clean. We haven't done anything to bring the wrong attention to us, and I think that's one of the more important things. There's a lot of bad actors in the space. There's a lot of people that they might get a lot of they might get a lot of attention, but is it the right attention? Are they performing the right way to get that attention? I don't know. To each their own, I suppose. All I know is that with the messaging that I particularly put out for me personally, the people that I surround myself with, so my community, the message that they put out, it's all the same. I like positivity. I don't like bully mentality. I don't like when people like sell shaming, that kind of NFT activity. So like, we're building this community on, I think, all the same kind of principles and values, and hopefully that that sets us what we're doing apart from other people, if that makes any sense, Turbo.
No, most definitely. Growing up, my mom always said, she was always like, like, you are the company you keep.
Mm-hmm.
You're the company that you keep. And I think that really, like, doing this really kind of becomes more mindful of that. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I find that interesting too. And I guess, Jay, this is kind of kind of be a kind of a question, and kind of have this little conversation here, because in this world that we live in, this like whole cancel culture, and like how fast someone can just be like, oh well, like, this guy's done. We have to be so careful about everything, every move that we make, the things that we're saying. I mean, like, how do you see the future? You know what I'm saying? In that, how do we make ourselves a part of this community, right? But still be able to stand out on our own in a way, what I'm saying, that's protected. Because I can tell you, when I first came into this space, like, I had that, with an individual that they don't align with my values and my integrity and who I am, what I'm saying? And it's fine, what I'm saying? I don't mind, like, that person. I don't necessarily agree with the things that they do, or, you know, they're involved in the space or whatever. You know, but in the beginning, you know, a lot of people attached us together. You know what I'm saying? And that's been one thing that's really made me gun shy. You know, I went, you know, kind of under in hiding for a little while to kind of develop myself, to kind of figure out, you know, how I was going to move forward. But is that something that you've seen, you know, you've been here for a long time, and but also too, how do you find your voice in the community, but it's still your own voice?
That's a really good question, Turbo. You know, as far as like finding your voice and maintaining that, I think you just have to be authentic. You just have to be you. You know, you'll find things where, you know, maybe you got another content, and all I can relate this really to is, you know, other content creators, other YouTubers, you know, people that are making videos or education style stuff. You know, you find things that work for them, and you don't necessarily want to copy them, but you want to do the stuff that works. I mean, I think, you know, throughout, you know, any kind of industry or ecosystem, I mean, that's kind of how it works, right? Like you find the things that work, and you build from there and you make it better. And so, you know, it necessarily, you don't want to take the same message that people are using, but, you know, again, it's all about being authentic. It's about being you, so that, you know, you do stand out as that, because you get a lot of people that I don't know. Do you think, again, they're fakers? You know, you can fake it till you make it. I understand that, but there are some people that literally, they are one person to your face, and they are another person behind your back. And I think that goes the same on Twitter Space. That goes the same as at some of these conferences. And so, you know, you have to watch out, you know, who you're hanging at. Maybe I'm answering both questions at the same time, Turbo, but, you know, you have to watch who you're, you know, who you're spending your time with, who you're associated with, because it doesn't matter how honest and how much integrity you have. If you sort, like, you know, like you said, you're the sum of your activity. So if you surround yourself with scumbags and shitheads, you know, that's what the perception is of you. Even if you have never gotten anything bad, even if you you know, you provide the highest level of education and content, but you're surrounded by shitheads, so you're just going to be thought of as a shithead. So it's all about, again, just keeping that image, and just go out and get it done. So just do it, but don't, you know, I say it every day, and I will say it. Don't be a douchebag. Just don't be a douchebag.
No, definitely, man. You know, and that's your network. You know what I'm saying? That's your
it.
network. You know, that's what, you know what I mean? Like, it's you know, where are you spending your time? Where is your attention focused? You know, wherever you point your attention is where your actions will go. You know what I mean? And so if you're constantly focused and, you know, looking at, you know, like what this person's doing, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I mean, then what your Twitter circle is going to develop and your algorithm's going to create is that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we truly do live in this world now of like, whatever we think and dream, we can build. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like, I think it's important too, you know what I'm saying, to understand your network, so that you can uplift them. You know, Jeb Deasy is, you know, he's one of my great friends. And you know, he had quite an experience, and you know what I mean. And I was like, bro, you got to take it. And it sucked, right? But he learned so much. You know what I'm saying? In our network, you know what I'm saying, he knew that he had people around him that he could reach out to and say, hey, you know, this is what I'm thinking of. You know, it didn't necessarily work out, you know what I'm saying, but he got some really good life lessons, and we have some great laughs, and we're still here to support, you know what I'm saying, because of that good network. And I think that that's just important to think about too, you know, with our networks. You know, is your network supporting you? Or is your people there? You know what I mean? Like, and if not, you know, like, we have to readjust. I mean, Jay, is your network supporting you?
You know, it's funny that you asked that, because, like, you know, the sentence before, when you started saying that, like, the wheels just started moving in my head. You know, I would say, to some extent, you know, the network that I have, I have to word this carefully. Then my network hasn't always supported me in the way, um, you know, when I take a look at where I am now versus where I was, my network didn't support me in the way that I thought that they probably should have. I think, when you realize that, and you make major changes in your life, um, and then you start to surround yourself with different individuals that do start to support you and lift you up, and support you on another level that maybe you hadn't seen. Um, I would say at this particular moment, Turbo, yes. my network does that for me at this time, and it's such a great feeling. And let me tell you something. It is demonstrable. I have people in my everyday life, my regular life, that have said there's something different about you. You seem better. Like, not that there was anything wrong, but I have had people say, like, what's going on? You seem you're more positive. You got a little more shine in your eye right now. What's going on? And so I think that we can attribute that to, how we feel and who we surround ourselves, right? That's our network. And, your network is your net worth. And that's one of those things. But I think it's more important than that here in Web3. Your network is your community. Your community is everything. It's your mental health. It's the people that you talk to every day. I'm on we've StreamYard with Turbo, with Carmen, with Chris, with Fully Voxed. I mean, we are on meetings all day, every single day. And so the people that I'm surrounding myself with, yeah, they're very positive, and we're working hard. We're working our fucking asses off right now. But I would rather work 100 hours a week with the team that I've got than 30 hours a week, for someone else, or in a different situation. So yes, Turbo, I think that it's so important to surround yourself with the people that do lift you up, because then you get more stuff done. When you're more positive, I think you're more efficient. When you're more efficient, you become not only a better communicator, you become a better worker, you become more focused. It's important. And I appreciate you asking that, because these are really good questions. And, this is one of the things that I love about this space, Turbo. And I appreciate, you being here, and everybody else that's on stage and in the audience listening, participating. This is what we're here for, to ask these kind of questions. I would love if anybody that doesn't typically participate or come up on stage, would want to come up here and answer these questions, and maybe, take a chance at being a little more vulnerable with the community, because this is what we are. We are a community of people specifically here for Web3 Breakfast. I want this community to be a place where, if you've never been in a Twitter space, if you've never spoken before, this is where you open your mic up for the first time and let the community know how you're feeling, because there is no, it's like, what's that, Jim? It's the judgment-free zone here.
Planet Fitness.
Thank you.
Yo, if you set the lunk alarm off on me, J Chains, I will lose my shit. I'm not even kidding with you. Yo, I'm gonna be straight up with you. I'm a lunk, bro. You know what I mean? Like, when I was in the fitness, I was a lunk. Cut off shirts with the sleeves cut off, gallon water jug. I didn't do the whole judging thing, but when they set the lunk alarm off on me in Planet Fitness, yo, that shit sent me to 100, bro. Like, that, they were not prepared. Like, I was like, literally, like, I lost my shit. I definitely showed my ass in a really bad way. And I'm really glad that I'm constantly maturing to be able to hold myself together. But if you're ever working out and you're like pumped up on like caffeine and doggone pre-workout, and you're like in it to win it, and they are like, lunk alarm. Yeah.
That's too funny, man. You know what I never understood, and this is what people do, like, because I wear like these big ass headphones to work, right, to be on the podcast, the shows, all that stuff. I honestly don't understand how in the fucking world somebody could work out with these things on. This way, it would drive me insane.
Yeah, bro, you definitely have a big neck, but not to get off on a tangent. We have the ADD, we got to pull it back in. You know what I'm saying? But no, it's it is. Like, our networks are so incredibly important. This conversation is important. Because I hope that it strikes people's, like, I hope it strikes their mind, right? I hope that the people that are out there that are like, damn, like, I really want to spend more time around this person. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that you go and do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we live in this world now where we can time travel. We can doggone, we can go anywhere in the world in a blink of an eye. You know what I'm saying? We have these technologies, capabilities, but I mean, how are we using them? If you're constantly just staying around the people that, like in the space, because there's spaces where, like, people are just in there, they're hanging out, they come every day. They don't really talk about anything. It's kind of like smoking and joking. You're around the water cooler. Everybody's just kind of kicking the can back and forth. But there's not really any value. You know what I'm saying? You're just in the room. You're just, kind of spending time. And this is in my opinion, right? I try to be mindful of, finding the spaces where, it's pushing me to grow. It's pushing me to think, whether, I'm with the Royal Dreads on Mondays, we're doing voice acting, and there's opportunities to possibly be able to voice act. I've always wanted to be an actor. You know what I'm saying? Never been to no, I can't say that. I've been to like one audition, but it wasn't mine. But I've never went to an audition myself. You know what I'm saying? I've never actually stepped out and tried, you know what I'm saying, to do this thing. But I always walk around saying, I want to be an actor. Like, I want to be an actor. And they're like, yeah, like, have you ever done anything to it? No, not at all. I've never done a single thing to be an actor, but I'm constantly saying how I want to do this thing. You know what I'm saying? So now, I go to these spaces and I'm a part of NFT projects that, open those opportunities. You know what I'm saying? That's now become a part of my network because I'm taking the time to say, what are these dreams and things that I want to have? What are the things, right? The one thing I told my dad when I came back home and, like I was having really bad mental health issues and stuff, and I couldn't keep a job. And he's just like, Michael, what do you want to do with your life? You need to figure it out. What do you want to do? What job do you want? And I'm like, I want to stand on stage and tell stories. And he's like, well, that's not a real job. Well, here we are. You know what I'm saying? Like, I made the job. You know what I'm saying? I come out and I stand on stage and I tell stories. And yeah, you know what? When I first started, I didn't get paid for it. And you know what I mean? I went around and I supported and I built up my trust and I did this. Now I have the opportunity to stand on stage and get paid for it. Projects, pay me for my time to come and, you know what I mean? And to learn about their project, to be passionate about it, and to be able to present their project and be a part of their communities. In a way that that doesn't ruin their image, you know what I'm saying? And that's an exchange. And I hope that everybody finds that, and you'll find that inside of your network. But Ricky, you got your hand up, man. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, Turbo. I would say you and Royal Dreads, man, y'all got me out of my comfort zone last night, man. Like, it was awesome, you know what I'm saying, with the, voice acting and all, man. It was like, it's a blessing that, that you can come to a space and, share your uniqueness. I'm trying to figure the words how to put it, but it was very awesome. Because like when I join a space, you know what I'm saying, in order to get the audience pumping, you know what I'm saying, like that's one way of doing it, you know what I'm saying? Because yeah, y'all had me on the edge there for me. I'm like, oh, y'all put me in the hot seat, but it was funny, it was creative, and it was reaching out to people, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't realize it until after the space. I was like, damn, like what you got going on is really awesome, bro. And I would like to be part of the community, man. Anything I can do to help, man, I'm here, bro.
I love
No,
that.
for sure, Ricky. I'm sorry, Jay. I was gonna say, I think Ricky, I think you have a great voice. You know what I'm saying? You have a very unique voice. And, what I'm saying, I think that, that if you could definitely leverage your voice to do some great things, you know what I'm saying? And so, by being a part of our network, you know what I'm saying? And by us being open, right? By me being an active member. And I want to stay tribes. I like tribes better than communities. You know what I'm saying? Because like a tribe, I feel is like more of like a family. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're constantly looking out for each other. Like, I know the people in my tribe. I know who the archers are. I know who the farmers are. You know what I'm saying? But like, we're a tribe because we're all like working together. I don't know. Like, community just feels like a group of people, and a tribe feels like people that are all working together for each other. So I don't know. Maybe we could talk about that. But being in my world, right? Like, it's important to me to know every person that's in the community, the things that they're working towards, the things that they want, the passions that they have, so that when I hear them, that I can encourage and push, and find other opportunities too that they might not see. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that that becomes a part of all the communities, right? I hope that all community members or tribe members or whatever you want to call it, really start to speak up and start to send DMs and, like, hey, Jay Chains, I come to your show every morning. And you know what? It really helps me and motivates me. Thank you for taking that time. It's a 2-second DM, but it means the world to the other side. You know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate, you coming up here, Ricky, and saying, being vulnerable. Guys, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's, like, my degree's in psychology. This is what I get geeked up about. You know what I'm saying? Is how we're going to network and how we're going to create communities and tribes, because never in history have we ever got to witness this, where we get to be on the inside of the ant farm, like we're literally looking on the outside of the glass of this, this ant farm of everybody digging their way in Web3. And we have the ability, like, we have the shovels, you know, we get to say like, hey, you know what, it might be really good for us to go over here and build together a colony, you know, of whatever that thing is. So I think it's definitely great. But Jay, what do you think, man? Communities or tribes? Like, I mean, how do you feel?
Well, I like both, right? And I like both for different reasons. Tribe, I think, has more of a powerful meaning to it. But at the same time, I think that the biggest difference between the two is kind of in the maybe more of the definition aspect of it. So maybe it throws people off. So I was just looking this up, and a tribe says the tribe does not understand its place in the whole of humanity and may believe the whole is its tribe, whereas a community sees itself as an integral part of an integrated universal humanism. So, like on a level like that, I definitely understand a community is probably more all encompassing, maybe more welcoming. Whereas the tribe is this is my tribe. And you need to get your own tribe, whereas we're all part of the community. So I like them both. I do. Again, I like the powerful aspect of the word tribe, but I think to be more inclusive, I prefer the word community. But that's just me. GM Royal Dreads, how are you?
Good morning. Good morning. Great convo. How's everybody
Doing
today?
great.
Hi Turbo. How you doing? I love that question, community or tribe, and I think I like the hybrid of both. It's weird because I came up to say almost exactly what Jane said. Tribe, the power and the connectedness and the feeling of ride or die that you get with a tribe is like none other. But a community allows people to come in. So it allows for the exchange of new ideas, to be inclusive by bringing new people in it. So it's always constantly refreshing and it gets you stronger. So I think when you combine community and tribe together, that's when you get um, not just power and strength, but also the ability to move forward and make impact and a difference. So maybe we should come up with a new word like tricumity.
I was going to say trimunity, tribunity. I don't know. There's probably some kind of hybrid word that we could come up with. But
I think so. Let's coin this and say that we started it here.
Tribunity sounds pretty good.
Tribunity.
I can go with that.
It's our tribal community, and I love the idea of again both and finding a way. And I think that we've got to do this with some of the nomenclature throughout this entire ecosystem that maybe works better for other people. I mean, we're starting to realize the gamers just don't like the word NFTs, so let's change that to something else that fits them, so we can make them feel included. There's several things, cryptocurrencies. I don't really think that we should be calling them cryptocurrencies. None of them are a currency. To some extent, I think digital assets, assets using the word asset in some of these is probably a better idea than a currency, especially when you got 20,000 of them. I don't think we need 20,000 coins. What is the number these days? Does anybody know? I'm gonna go to CoinMarketCap and I'll tell you.
So always, but you know what? It's also the tax treatment of them is different. So a currency, is treated different from a accounting and tax perspective than an asset. And right now, how we have to account for crypto and whatnot is more on an asset level. So yeah, asset.
Yeah, I was gonna definitely say that too. You know what I'm saying? Because we saw it yesterday with old Uncle Joe's with his document he put out. It's like they want to use currency when they want to use currency, but they only want to give it the the implications like tax implications and stuff when it benefits them. It's a currency, but when it doesn't, then it's just it's just like a fake made up digital whatever. But I think the words are important, man. And I think it's such a great point, Jay, that you're bringing up, because that's actually how I came to my name Turbo. Because a lot of people think turbo because it's fast or supercharged or whatever, but that's actually not it. Actually, like one day I woke up and I just want to be turbo, and I was having a really hard moment, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna look up turbo and it will mean something. And so when I looked it up, it actually means combining form. And so in the laws of language, there are 5 laws to making a word. And so when you put 2 of those together, that's combining form, and that's a turbo. And so that's actually what my name means.
That's really cool. I'm looking this up. 5 laws to make a word.
Yeah. And they're like extremely hard words to say, like what those things are.
See, you learn something new every single day. I love it. That's the value that you get here in Web3. Being a part of this, there's just so much to take in and learn. And we've said it before. It's we talk about the strength of our networks, and that's what we're talking about today. But literally, if you take that, if you just like kind of step one back from there, and something that we say all the time, that basically and this is my opinion, the 2 biggest pillars of what we have here with Web3 is access and community, right? And to some extent they are synonymous, or at least there's some overlap to it. But this overwhelming sense of community that we've got within this ecosystem is it's pretty special. Jeb, you got your hand up. What's up?
Yeah. I just, here's like a personal quest that I'm on right now. I think it goes with definitely the topic, strength of our networks, is how to, because I'm involved with different communities, right? And I want to be equal value to everybody. So how do you guys think that multiple communities can work together to help each other and grow, and also, equally value each other at the same time?
Yo, man, that, I was actually going to hit that, Jebby. Are you still talking, Jeb? Okay, thank God.
No,
I'm
my
sorry.
mic stopped.
Okay. So, I was actually thinking about that, you know what I mean? And that's, because that's a quest that, we're working on, and Jeb, you're working with us on that, and we've had this conversation, and it's really, this is the time where we have to begin to find, like, this is really the tribe time, right? Like, if tribe and community mean 2 different things, right? And Jay, in that definition, the tribe really believes that it is the center of the entirety of everything, right? So to where a community doesn't believe that it's a part of the whole, right? To where a tribe is, we are the whole. And so, like, I just feel like in Web3, we have to become the whole for what Web3 is as an entirety, right?
Yeah.
And within that, right, we can then, go to these other projects, these other villages, but not so much that, we want to destroy or to kill or to try to take over and take what's theirs, right? But that if we have members in our tribes that better fit in this village or with this project, that it's okay if they stay with them because they best fit there, because there's a great opportunity that there's going to be members in that tribe that'll fit most with you, and you're going to cross-pollinate and stuff. So when I owned my gyms in Georgia, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, I wanted to know every other personal trainer in the community because not every person was going to fit with me. It's going to be more beneficial. So if a client comes to me, right, yeah, of course I want their membership, right? Because I want that money, you know what I'm saying? But their money is not worth it if they're going to, if we don't blend well and they're destroying my business, right? Mm-hmm. It would be better for me to identify that out the gate and say, hey, you know what? Like, I might not be the best fit for you. You're gonna fit better with Jeb Deasy because he's gonna be more aligned with your goals. He kind of talks as kind of more your language. You're gonna have a better fit there, and I'm gonna build better trust and a better relationship with that client and with that other gym, because they're gonna go over there and they're gonna be successful, and they're gonna be like, damn, like Coach Turbo, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really work out with him, but he's a nice guy. So in his gym, if someone comes, it should be kind of the same thing. I think if we adopt more of that mentality and we understand that we're all in this together, and that if you go to a project like the Granny Apes, right? Granny Apes is a perfect example. If you see the Granny Apes and you get it and it makes you laugh, join the community. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be doing a bunch of stuff. We're going to be playing games. We're going to be, building. We have like tons of stuff that we're working on, you know what I'm saying, inside of that community. If you look at that and it doesn't make sense to you, then don't do it, right? If you see the Royal Dreads and you're like, yo, that's where I fit in better, you know what I'm saying? Because we're going to be playing games. What I'm getting at, guys, is that all of our communities are doing the same things. We're playing games. We're creating time in this social structure and these things. But we're all doing the same shit. You just got to find the people that you most resonate with and those are the projects that you purchase. And if it doesn't necessarily resonate with you, then just retweet and like their shit, because that's free. It didn't cost you anything. That's how we support across the thing. Go ahead, Jay. I'm sorry.
No. I was just agreeing, man. I love that. I think, one of the things that you were when you were talking about, the whole gym thing, and we're talking about increase and strength of our networks and all that stuff. I mean, you think about now the power of, if you build that relationship and that trust with Jeb, the other gym owner down the road, where you say like, your personality is going to fit better with him. So now you send him a client, it starts to boost his revenue. And I think, that hopefully that relationship, it becomes a quid pro quo. And so now he's starting to send you clients that might not jive with him, right? Because now you're starting to see like, all right, like we could figure out how to work together. This way you have a better client list that better suits you, and so do I, all that kind of things. And so now you've got more business coming your way. You've increased your network because now you've got other, collaborating businesses that you can work with and send clients their way. They'll send to you, and it's a win-win for everybody. And I think that to me is also like what we're seeing in Web3, that collaboration, that's living proof that it's possible. If you look at traditional Web2 world, you don't see that kind of collaboration. You're not going to see Coke and Pepsi in the same Twitter space talking with the community on solutions to make everything better. Whereas, you are seeing air quotes competitors, in this industry, in the same space, talking about solutions to make shit better for everybody, for the community, for projects, for founders, all that stuff. So this is a complete special industry that we've got, and it is just so cool to be absolutely like on the ground floor of it, because we still kind of are, but in the driver's seat, which I think is probably even cooler.
And Jay, before we jump down there, and I'm sorry, you have your hand up, and I'm just being a jerk right now. I'm not a douchebag. I'm not being a douchebag. I'm just being a jerk right now. Okay, I'm sorry, and I just have to throw this in there real quick, and then we're gonna come right to you. But the thing that we missed in that, Jay, is that in the city where all of the gyms are working together, so all the personal trainers are working together to get the entire city to find their best place, that where they're able to maximize their best results, means that entire city is healthy. Everybody's healthy, and everybody has a place to get healthy, and everybody knows where their spot is.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the thing, right? If Coke and Pepsi would come together, we'd all have diabetes. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody, like that would be their like all, they're like, that's how we would know they're being successful, right?
Yeah.
And so when we look at our cities and not everybody's healthy, it goes to show you exactly that. The gym owners aren't working together. Go ahead, Ann. Thank you for allowing me to be a jerk there.
No problem. I mean, what Jay just said is such a massive part of our belief system, is that number one, no one can be all things to all people all the time. So, and every community offers something sometimes uniquely different or subtly different depending on where you are. So a great way of looking at it, if you're using the gym analogy, some gyms are great for building strength, but you go to another that's really good for flexibility, another that's good for endurance. And a gym that does it all does not do it all well. So if you're a person that really needs to work on your flexibility and stuff, you're more likely to go to a gym that specializes in something like Pilates or yoga. Versus if you need strength, you're going to go to a gym that specializes in weights. And so if you look at that, and the whole thing is, what I think is really important is that we're not one dimensional either. So you can have an interest in jokes and stand-up comedian and stories, but you could also have a passion for music, and you could also have a passion for social impact, and you can have a passion for gaming, etc., etc. So it's okay to be part of more than one community. In fact, we should be part of more than one community, because that is what builds strength. And that means that you are making increasing connections that are overlapping. And if you think of like a basket, and when a basket is weaved, a basket is not weaved by each strand standing there by itself. The strength of the basket is in the strength of the weaving, the fact that it's woven together and interrelated.
That's absolutely
Absolutely fantastic. And one thing I got my takeaway, Anne, is that I should not go to the Pilates gym for my steroids next time.
Yeah, Jay, that's
Definitely not.
Definitely. And you know, and I would tell you, man, you know, like there was a couple of things, you know, in there, you know, some really big, you know, moments that hit for me. And when you were talking, one is, you know, the gyms, you know what I'm saying? Like taking the time to ensure that they have the people that, you know what I mean, that are aligned with, you know, what their strengths are. Right. So that mind mapping allows us to do that. You know what I'm saying? You know, Jay, I think we hit a lot of strengths for you last night and really kind of came up with some of those, you know, put you kind of in a thought pattern, you know, that might have been very different, right? You know, this conversation today has been all about the strength of our networks and, you know, how are we leveraging them? You know, how are we spending our time with the people that are, you know, helping us to grow? Are you the smartest person in every one of your circles? Or do you take the time to go and surround yourself with other people who are smarter than you, right? And then be able to take that back to the people who look up to you that you are smarter than. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We have a service to everyone around us, right? Like, and it's not about judging or, you know what I'm saying, or putting yourself like, we're all on this highway. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about being on a highway that's so beautiful about it is that even if there's no cars around you, right? And you looking in the mirror, you can't see no cars around you. There is always a car that you're chasing that's down the highway in front of you. And there's always a car behind you that's trying to catch up to you. And sometimes in life, like there's a car that pulls up right next to you. And I hope that you take that moment to look over and like look them eye to eye and give them like a finger nod, you know what I mean? A little head nod, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you know, I see you and I respect you that we're here together, and let's safely and as fast and, you know what I mean, as efficient as we can, let's get to where we're going. Because, you know what I mean, like we all have our own exits. You know what I'm saying? Like different people have the places that they're going to. You know what I mean? Just because we're all we need to really, you know, be there to support each other, so that we all can arrive safely. And so, Jay, man, great conversation today, man. The strength of our network, man. I appreciate you greatly. See some absolutely awesome people down in the space, guys. Make sure that you guys go follow Jay Chains' YouTube. You know, make sure you go give everybody in this room a follow. Check out the Royal Dreads over at royaldreads.io. I see the dry koalas down there. Super dope community. Check them out. Tap in with Chris D. You know what I'm saying? He has that Shredditor course. Chris is putting up videos every single day. He is writing the book on being consistent, so make sure you check him out. Our guy Fully Voxed over there, if you don't know about Meme NFT, got the gold check mark. Yo, you better check in. You know, I see you guy Class Sig down there, super dope artist, Crypto K, Carmen, Corey, man, Cash, man, everybody, Ren 1010. Yo, Jay, you know, when I look out there into the sea this morning, man, you know, it's super dope to see the OGs and someone as brand new as Class Sig, you know, sitting side by side in this room getting value, man. Like this room's gonna fill. You know what I'm saying? It's not about all the hype shit and, you know what I mean, like putting up, like coming in here and being, you know, like getting you guys fired up and trying to like, you know, just spread shit. Like we're in here to really make a difference, man. And I see it happening, guys. Thank you so much, man. Jay, I'm gonna pass it over to you, bro. You're killing it. I can't wait.
Appreciate you, Turbo. You know, one of the things that you had said earlier in the space, you were talking about, you know, or someone was, you know, being in a space where you got no value, and there might be hundreds, if not thousands, of people in these Twitter spaces, and you're just sitting there. You might as well be wasting your time because you are sitting there just waiting for the next giveaway. There's no value add. To what Turbo just said, guys, you know, we are building this community, and we're building it a day at a time. We're building it the right way, the way that we want to build it. I don't want a room full of hundreds or thousands of people that have no really desire to be in that space other than to win something. That's, you know, that's not what we're doing here. That's, you know, when we talk about the strength of our network, we're building a network of people that want to be here. And I think, you know, maybe it took me the rest of the episode to figure that out, Turbo. And I think the strength of my network, you know, at the end of the day, if I were to boil it down to one thing, it's people that want to be here. I wouldn't want it any other way. I think that's really important because your engagement is better. And I don't mean engagement like analytics. I mean just engagement like here in this Web3 Breakfast Twitter space in particular, you know, we get a chance to chat with the community, and everybody is on the same level here. I am no better than anybody. You are no better than me. We are all in the same level in this space. And I think it's so exciting and refreshing to have that mentality and to have that perspective, because, you know, if we can all just figure that out and get along and be on that same level, just think about how beautiful, and not to sound like cliche or weird, but how beautiful life could be if, you know, if we could eliminate some of the distraction and the noise that keeps us separated, that keeps us mad at each other. I mean, it's unrealistic to think that stuff like that needs to go on, especially, you know, once we know that, you know, the power of us together, the strength of our network, the strength of our community, the strength of our tribe, you know, all of that stuff put together, we are unstoppable force. And I think, you know, where we are and where we're headed in Web3 and the people that we're surrounding ourselves with, you know, there was a lot of really, really good anecdotes and a lot of really good sayings today. You know, where the sum of our activity, you know, where the strength of our network. You know, I think, you know, one of the things, Turbo, you might have said it too. You know, if you're the smartest person in your tribe, or if you're the smartest person in the room, you know, you better find a different group of people or a different room to go into, because you always want to be learning, you always want to be growing, and this space is, I'll tell you what, it's a gift. To be able to do that, to be able to learn, grow, and develop and strengthen bonds and relationships every single day. It's not happening anywhere else. So, you know, at the end of the day, I appreciate everybody for participating. I appreciate everybody for listening. Tag a friend. Let's bring some more people in here. People that want to be here, guys. Don't, you know, we don't run giveaways. You know, we want the community to be here, to grow together, to have these conversations that make sense to us, and that, you know, there is some takeaway at the end of the day that we can walk away and say, whether you learned something, whether you feel better about yourself, or whether you said something nice about someone else, you know, at the end of the day, that's some of the things that we need to look at and to start doing, and to take care of each other. So also make sure that you guys take care of your mental health. If you get a chance to break away from your screen today, do that. Tell someone that, hey, I appreciate you. You know, that's there's a lot of things that we can do to improve someone else's life. You know, one thing that I used to do, it's not a thing anymore, and I had read this in an article in Maxim when I was younger, is you say hi to the toll booth workers, just by, and there are people, find your modern day toll booth worker, you know, people that don't get any interaction. You know, maybe it's the janitor somewhere, maybe it's the checkout lady at somewhere where typically no one will ask them how their day is. Ask someone else how their day is, and I promise you will improve someone's life, or at least their day today. And if you make that a habit, your life will get better too. So, guys, again, thank you for being here. We'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern for more Web3 Breakfast. Got a bunch of things going on throughout the day, so watch out for some links for some more spaces and videos and all sorts of cool stuff. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you tomorrow. Adios.